What's up, guys, and welcome back to PricePlow. Obviously, this is part 2 of the Goon Day podcast. We didn't cut specifically for part 2, so I wanted to film a quick intro here, let you guys know, if you didn't watch part 1, I definitely recommend starting out there. There's a lot of stuff that happens in there that leads into the second part. The second part got pretty late. We were going until like 12:30 a.m., so it gets a little bit weird, but it's always a good time hanging out with Joey and Michael. Really enjoy the time with them. The content just kind of makes itself when we're around each other. So we start off talking about the collagen pumpkin pie, and then we get into a whole bunch of really cool different things, including the continuity of the formulations, Joey's super secret presentation at Supply Side West that I got to sneak into and film, which we might be releasing at some point, and a lot of other really fun stuff talking about Vanity, the new product coming from Glaxon, and more. So check it out, enjoy. If you have any comments or questions, or if you had any favorite moments, please feel free to comment them. I'd love to see what you guys thought about the podcast. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
I wanted to bust into really quickly, sorry for totally changing the subject. The reason I finished that chocolate or the cinnamon roll was because I figured it would be closest to this pumpkin pie collagen flavor that I've been dry scooping and loving. I want to actually taste it with water. How much water?
I was hoping you dry scoop a whole scoop right now.
I'll do that.
On the
So
podcast.
it's salty. I want to know how much that salt works in the water.
Yeah, just don't put a lot of water.
So, well, your
Start
your
small.
tub says 16 ounces. So.
It says very amount of liquid to taste.
Okay, so what is your suggestion? Because I want that salt. I want that salt to hit and stay. So it's like 4
12.
ounces.
Go with 12.
Oh, 12. Okay. I was thinking like 4. Gotcha.
No, you'll still have the salt hit. It's in there.
Very amount of water to taste.
There we go.
It should still be thick. Decently thick.
Get you like a good heaping scoop.
Ben, are you gonna want any of this?
I'm good.
You don't like pumpkin pie collagen?
I'm not a pumpkin person. I really, I hate.
It's more like poopkin.
When are we dropping Vanity? Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day would be a cool time to drop it.
You sure would, or before it slightly.
Can we talk about how Vanity differs from Super Collagen?
I mean,
Or it might change before then is part of the problem.
No, it won't.
Similar
It
to
won't
Goon and
change.
Neuro. So,
Vanity
it's a
won't.
capsule companion.
Oh,
Capsule
cool.
companion. It's super cost effective.
So, so knowing you guys, I assume the herbals are in Vanity, right?
Yeah.
Because that's flavor.
Draco Bell's technically a botanical, but she flavored
Draco
up
Bell
really
just
good.
tastes really well. It looked good, and it gives it that nice pink color.
Is that the Draco Bell?
Uh-huh.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So does the capsule delivery, outside of the flavor aspects, is it a DR cap? Does it help with the bioavailability of some of the ingredients?
Most likely will be a DR
efficient?
cap or some sort of like lipidox
Enteric-coated.
component to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, more peptide technology. It's starting to pop up and everything. So to like Wonder Collagen's peptides, Goon's got peptides, Zerion's got peptides, Anomaly's peptides. If you look at, it's like just sprinkled throughout a little bit of everything. Plasm Surge, Plasm Caps.
I'm going to go in. Joey, I want you to. How much time do you spend looking forward thinking versus like maintaining what you have going on a day-to-day basis? Because like you're already seeing the future, peptides, this and that. Like you can't stop. Like you have to be seeing the future all the time, don't you?
I mean, like it was, I'm there's nothing really like Promethean really about what we're doing.
I would use even less water. I love this. And
Add some more powder to it to kind of separate.
Yeah, good idea.
So this has come up in our house. My wife's like, I keep reading. I gotta take more collagen. I'm
Someone
like,
else's wife had a comment like that recently because
so-
it was too, like things were too sweet.
and she didn't like the cinema roll, which I thought was awesome, and that's what you said was the divine
I
flavor.
only really go for the raspberry rose.
she
'cause
likes-
I
oh,
just
okay.
want I just don't like. I haven't been after like a robust intense flavored collagen, like the refreshing, just kind of light beverage is
and that's
my
what,
jam.
That's what she liked today more than the cinema roll, which I did like.
Oh, she tried the raspberry rose?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. She
Okay,
said, she
nice.
wants the fruity sweet stuff. So,
Okay.
To me, this type of thing, pumpkin pie, Sinus roll makes more sense with a collagen.
Oh, yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
But so
that's
it's good to have
the
options.
main feedback.
But yeah, I was.
So your question on staying like ahead of things and then also
you
maintaining
need to see
things.
the future, man.
I have a take on this, but you
go.
No, you've been.
This is
said
a joke.
enough.
It's not easy, and there's nothing really special about what we're doing. Like other people came out with these ingredients. It's just a matter of like who's choosing to pick them and bring them to market and actually like take that risk above everything else that we know. The maintenance thing, I mean, obviously, I haven't filmed Supplement Lab in a couple of weeks. Like, I like to have a nice routine, but we are dropping a whole lot of products in a row really quickly, so we'll have to circle back, and we'll still cover everything. I mean, we usually do. But, you know, there's a time for the innovation, and there's a time for the maintenance phase of things. I think we'll probably plateau a little bit, but then we'll start working on, like, some much deeper kind of innovations. That Ben saw my presentation, the supply side, working on stuff like that that may take like a year or more to really come around to market, but once it does, it's gonna rock some worlds.
I have that whole presentation recorded. Is that something you guys don't want online because it was a private presentation?
Did you post it?
No. I actually recorded it for Michael, to be honest with you, because he was asking about it, and I thought it might be valuable for you guys to have it.
Supply Side West might actually own the content.
No.
You have to legally, okay.
I don't. I mean, if they want to come for it, they can. But
Well, you see, I saw they had really big cameras pointed at Joey, and I thought they're going to charge for that video, so I'm going to take my own.
yeah, I mean, we're not selling that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
like, what kind of punitive damage would they have? Anyway, and they're not selling it either.
And so, but my question really being is that technology, and I'm sorry, I want you to answer your side as well, but like,
Yeah.
that technology that you're talking about,
yeah.
is that super private now, or if some of that made its way out, would that be bad? Like that content, I thought that presentation was awesome.
If you know what to look for, it's already out there. I mean, you'll have to be like a super nerd in order to figure it out. I mean, like the precursor stuff is like there in like some of these products, but like the true bioavailability enhancements that we're going for are, most of them are like to be determined. So that's why I was even giving that presentation, was so we can go fund some research. But otherwise, you know, once it finally does, it's already patent protected anyway. So and it's not even our IP.
Sorry, I just look really messed up.
Our
intellectual
IP property.
I heard
RIP. I heard that too.
Yeah, me three. Yeah.
That's cool. I was actually gonna. So while he's posting his Instagram story, one of the things I think about, like with the way that you evolve the Glaxon brand, is I imagine for yourself, this is like your whole stack. There's no real there isn't significant amounts of overlap.
Yeah.
Outside of efficiencies and synergies, like. It probably, I feel like it isn't that hard to keep up with the whole thing being maintained and continuous, because it's like managing your own stack. You wouldn't want overlap in your own stack, so I'm sure you have a really intimate view or memory of what everything is. So it can't be that hard to keep up with all of it, because just like managing your own immunity stack like yours, you change one product, now you have too much zinc, you got to move all that stuff around. I feel like it's probably pretty easy for you, because you have a duffel bag full of this stuff next to your bed that you take every day.
I really do. So, like, you know, I'll pour out, you know, so many different bottles, and I'll have to go through them and be like, I know this, I know this, I know this.
Yeah.
Or I'll know, in your specific kind of case where I've got some extra zinc, and I'll end up taking like an extra serving of super greens that day because I took my zinc in the morning instead of doing it some other time.
Yeah. So
that way I get more copper from that sodium copper chlorophyll.
So you said you had a take on the whole thing?
Yeah, as far as like Joey, like seeing into the future, like if we could have, we would have done like almost all of this stuff like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like it's like already been done. Like it's not all of it, but like so much has already been done. Like, we're just tinkering with it. Like, we're trying to figure out, we're waiting for the timing, we're waiting for it to make sense. Like, we don't have enough money yet. We don't have enough audience. Like, you know, like, it's crazy that 2 years have gone by, because, like, that NAD Synergy product, like, is exactly, like,
It's probably one of the first things we worked on.
I have it at my house, and it's, like, a year and a half old. Like, legit. There was some other stuff that we put in there, like, because we were, you know, maybe too ambitious, like, and I think we've gotten better at like sort of refining it. Like Zerion is just like really simple,
right? You don't need,
but it's super luxurious anyway. So like, why are you adding all this stuff in here? Like, you know, so I have a version of NAD Synergy at my house because like Joey and I knew like it's got apigenin in it, it's got fisetin in it, it's got a couple other things in it that are like sort of pushing the aging thing. It's not all out like NAD, you know, it's a little bit more like senolytics
and sirtuins,
yeah. But the date on the sample, the sticker that's on the bottle is like a year and a half ago. You know, so
we've been sitting on a lot of these.
I think that like we're sort of like setting Joey up just now to like really be forward thinking, like the presentation that you saw on sort of liposomal technology and how
Michael said it.
how well, I mean, that word
There's
means
more to
so
it. Doesn't get
much.
that much,
And
yeah.
then I know enough about it to know that word is going to lead people down a road they're not. It's yeah.
Are you patenting something
It's already patented.
under your name?
No, it's
okay.
it's someone else from a government laboratory that I'm helping him commercialize.
There we go. Okay.
I really want to get into that topic sometime because
We
I love
will.
the background. Sometimes
we
with the
definitely
background
will.
that you brought up
we
with
definitely will.
it. Yeah.
You know, it's just it costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time to like commercialize something like that. And then from a business perspective, like it may never happen.
So the stuff that I'm seeing that I think is forward thinking is actually not so forward thinking because Joey's been working on it for almost 2 years.
It's old
Yeah.
news.
Now the stuff that you're working on truly is forward.
Yeah, a lot of it's old news.
It could be like, I mean, there's like a war chest of like, you know, I could walk in or someone else here. I'm not trying to make this the Joey and Michael hour because like we definitely have other contributions.
This
But-
is the Joey and Michael hour.
Well,
quite literally.
you know, in perpetuity, I
Right.
guess, right? But like, I could walk in or text Joey at like 11 o'clock at night, and I've said this before. And like, it could be like a link to like some, you know, Google Scholar wormhole that I've gone down, and then he'll be like, "Oh shit!" Like, hold on 2 seconds, you know, and then I get a couple things back, and then like a week later, like, you know, that conversation ends where I'm like, hey, request samples, like get samples of this. And this
We don't
and
even
this.
know who has it. Just find it. Get samples.
Get samples. So he does, and then like a week later, you know, it's a down Thursday or something, and I'm like, hey, let's like whip some of that up. Like, what can we do, right? And I know just enough about it to like push him like really hard into different paradigms, and then he knows like he just has like a war chest of information and a knack for like getting things. So what point is that there's like a war chest of like 2 years, 3 years of these conversations and samples that like if you go like just comb through the sample library, you'll find like probably 10 or 15 things and you're like, what the hell is this?
We definitely did that earlier today.
Right, like what is this for, right?
Yeah, you're saying, oh, I forgot about that.
Some of them have no commercial viability, like whatsoever. Some of them have no efficacy that's compelling whatsoever. Some of them definitely do, but there's problems.
Some of them haven't been investigated that deeply at all, and it just sounds cool in theory.
Right,
It's
you know, some of them lead to ideas, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like anything else. Like, you know, you start out and you have like the end in mind. Like, we want to do something cool, and like we're trying to solve for X or whatever. Or I want this personally, and in that like that journey, you like pick up like little trinkets that you bring with you, and so like those trinkets, like we're sitting on like a war chest of them. You know, that's why I don't give a shit. Like, take away Hordnine, like, Higanamine, like, whatever. Like, there's something else. There's another way to position it. There's a way to maybe remarket, like, the way that people look at pre-workout at large. Like, there's other products to sell, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm just, like, shocked that we're in this situation. Like, that we're even talking about doing this stuff ongoing and it's working and we're growing it because, like, it's... it seems like it's not real, you know.
So
we just keep GNC keeps renewing us season after season after season.
It was long overdue, though. Like, we've probably even on this podcast made the comment, but like we've had the phone call. I've written about beta-alanine and citrulline, and those are ingredients you use. But I've written about these ingredients in a pre-workout supplement more times than I can count on hands and fingers. And it's like it was so. Not that there's anything wrong with those ingredients, but we needed something new.
Right, so
And
if you take those
Glaxon
ingredients
showed up
out, you
and
can't
sent me a
sell 'em.
bottle
You
of
can't sell 'em.
Adrenal, and I was afraid to take it. And that was the first label where I was like having trouble seeing it. I was like,
Right.
"Oh, dude, this is what reading glasses
You
are
put too much in it, and then the subtext wasn't big enough, and
But it was like the industry needed.
sure.
They'll kick
I
in the
mean,
ba-
I love that product. Actually, I'm gonna have to. I'll make sure that I have a lot of it.
I really felt like the specimen was the one because it pushed so many people. Like,
Yeah.
I'll bring it back to that.
It's always the
that-
pre-workout.
Polarized.
No, that
So
night,
we-
I'm
the
sorry.
way
The night
we-
on the
the
forum. It was
only
the night
way
on the
that-
forum is what I mean. Like we had people like, this shit is bullshit. Like,
Oh,
you
it's
guys
spiked.
underdosed everything. It's definitely fucking spiked. And Joey's on the internet, like, take a sample. Take a sample. Let me know it doesn't work. Like,
Tell me how bad it is.
Please. Like, take a sample. Tell me it doesn't work. And I mean, like 2 weeks later, when people got the samples and they took them, they're like, all right, never mind. And then Supplement Lab comes out, and Joey's like, it's a 20-minute long video on all the reasons this pre-workout.
And here's
works.
what happened to you.
Yeah, and we were
Blah,
like,
blah, 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 blah,
I mean,
blah.
I
all
love
we
that.
did with that one was we literally, and it's like the least like sciencey thing that we did.
makes the
but
least
all
amount of
we did was
scientific
like,
sense.
all right, how do we
Most pre-workouts
create like a
don't.
crazy experience, right? You know, and so we dialed up niacin. We had some like molality stuff going on with the gluconate versions of the minerals that were in there, so you get like rapid digestion. We had no pump whatsoever.
I remember
So
that.
like you get no BP relief, like there's no blood pressure relief. Like it's like through the roof, like it hits really hard and fast. You start to get a flush, like on top of the beta alanine tingles, like
And here come the cold sweats.
yeah, and then here comes the yo-yo, and like
That's
people,
what
and then you know people are like, this shit's like something's
going
in here,
home.
right? But is that a performance product? Outside of like it creates an experience that catapults someone into performing maybe more intensely or like
Yeah.
being compelled to want to, you know.
I think once you added the nitrates, it became much more of a performance
Well,
product.
yeah, so we added nitrates into it because most people, not super users that like wanted to say that it wasn't strong and then they tried it and got slapped, like it was most people like had fucking a bad time because they got like really fucking like jacked up off of it.
We had a great time. Okay,
I,
like, it was a great
I didn't
time.
take that like original version like ever really because like it wasn't like that's not my jam. Like I'm not trying to go home like after a long day and like get jacked up and then have kids like running around and stuff. You know, it's just not my thing.
I just remember this story about Sam taking GFY for the very first time and getting his first niacin flush, and him freaking out and like taking his shirt off, leaving
yeah.
the lab, and then he's like
That was a good one.
standing out in the parking lot, going
With
in
like
circles
red
without his
patches
shirt
all
on.
over his body.
That one was really good, but you know what my favorite one is?
He was convinced that like whoever made the sample was like heavy-handed and like fucked it up.
My favorite one's the James Bacuzzi one.
Oh,
Oh
He gave him
yes,
the big red.
Forgot about him.
Yeah,
And
we
he was
did.
like, this.
Dude.
Remember the video? He like put his chips in the refrigerator. He's like, this is fucked up, man. He's like, he opened the refrigerator. It's like, I put my fucking chips in the freezer, guys. Like, this is fucked up shit.
I forgot about
That was great. I put that in our video, like, because it was that funny.
Rite of passage.
This shit's way too fucking strong, man. This shit's way too strong. That's
I remember
crazy, though.
he-
You take, like, the nitrates out of that thing, and it's pretty close to that.
I remember he was literally asking. He's like, man, what the fuck? Like he wasn't like saying like, what the, he was like asking
it
like,
wasn't,
what?
like, applause. It
Yeah.
was like, dude, this shit's, like, way too strong. Like, that shit fucked me up.
And coming from like a vet like that, like
Right,
that's
yeah,
good.
exactly,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
There
he
was,
was
like,
doing
no,
stuff
there
with
was no,
strong
like,
company.
DMHA or anything crazy.
Because
in
he
it.
was like he was on our podcast. Remember he was talking about like the mystery of prop blends and how back in the day like you get some shit that was really fucked up, but he like you didn't know what it was. Like it was cool. Like then fast forward to today, he's taking this pre-workout that everyone's like this is underdosed and it's kicking your
Dosed
ass.
him. Oh,
That's some funny stuff.
So the nitrates, adding nitrates to that though, lowers the blood pressure, and does it?
and there is some relief to it. Yeah,
There's relief. Like, does it diminish? Does it change anything else, like mechanistically or chemically, or is it?
you know, I think that there's something to be said with the actual vasoconstriction, all that kind of like excitement and that true fight or flight response that you get whenever you take something like this. But you know, and taking something like the blood pressure lowering agents, and you know, asterisk for FDA, none of our statements are approved. You know, yeah, I think it has an effect where like a lot of that physiological fight or flight response only becomes psychological because you do have like these dilated blood vessels. So you get the head high and everything, but as far as like the body output that you would get if you're like really in danger, I don't think you get it as much because the body doesn't vasodilate in moments like that.
Understood.
It does
Okay,
the
that's-
extremities.
Yeah. Okay. That's exciting. when you're training, what is your current pre-workout stack, Joey?
Thermal Slice Surge. All three of those, thermal and slice and plasma surge. I love that combo. I do that before a lot of hot yoga, and if you can imagine what thermal and slice are like in a hot yoga room, it's
With
pretty.
the GBB.
Oh yeah, I'm a masochist in that kind of sense. Where
I feel nauseous thinking
you
about
go
that.
into like downward dog and you've got like a whole river of sweat
Yeah.
going down your vertebrae off the top
Just
of
like an
your head,
ice luge, like off your head.
and it didn't come from just your back.
We haven't talked about Slice at all today. This is a fat burner.
Yeah.
SLYCE.
Slice is a banger, man.
Dude.
The new one's like legit. It's strong. It feels good though. It's not like the original
Well, yeah.
one that like would just like
Rip you with niacin.
God. I mean,
took it
rip
once.
you with niacin,
Take it
and then the
once.
Yohimbe in the capsule delivery, like with that like combination of ingredients, just like wrecks people. Like it just wrecks people. Like.
It's like
For some reason,
this
it's like
epidemic of people passing out doing cardio somewhere, like just
well, I mean,
like
it's
laying
just,
in pools
like,
of sweat.
I've done it like twice, taken the original Slice like twice, and it like is way stronger than the specimen. And even though it's the same like amount of,
I love it.
It was way stronger. And I don't know if there's like some potentiation going on, or if it's just that capsule delivery is like more, like slap.
That's how I knew you were different when I met you. You told me you did hot yoga.
Yeah.
You meet someone with cauliflower ears, and you're like, that guy's like a fucking stud. Like you told me you do hot yoga with taking Slice, like.
And thermal.
And
With
thermal.
the GBB and everything.
That's the funny thing. Like, you talk about Slice being a great product. Like I just like thermal. Like when I do my fasted cardio and like a recomp or a cut, like thermal's enough for me. I'm good on that. Like a little bit of Beta,
I'm big on
GBB.
the Baiba every
love-
day.
Yeah.
I'm big
Baiba.
on trying to get.
Mito burn is the.
I'm trying to get Mito burn every day.
Yeah.
So
I'll be
what's
honest,
your
though,
normal
yeah.
dosage of Babe? I'm sorry, but the Beba dosages vary a little bit between different people. Like what do you just the thermal?
We're validating that 500 milligrams a day is safe.
So
You
there's
know,
potential
above
to go
that,
up to
like
1,000.
2,000 is what
I've taken 2,000.
Yeah, so we can't do that on the
right,
product
right. Okay.
yet.
That'd be too much money
Maybe in a year. Like, but the recommended amount like is 500 a day.
Okay.
So I try to do that every day. I'll go up to 1,000. The naked version's like what I've been using because I'll just like bolt that on. I don't get like a pronounced effect of like sweating from the GBB.
You have a very interesting description.
So it's either the GBB or the InnoSlim. Something makes my mouth water so much to the point where it's distracting.
Well,
And
just take one of them in isolation and see if it happens.
I know. I don't have any GBB sitting in isolation.
We've got
I got you.
quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
Can send you home with some GBB and you can conduct.
I was gonna do, my drive home would just be drooling the whole time.
Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of liked Alpha Lines like where they had Mitoburn just by itself. But then again, there's not that many people who know what it is.
Yeah, but I think it'd be. You don't ever want to copy or whatever. But like, I think you guys have quite a few compelling, interesting ingredients that it'd be cool if you put a couple of those single ingredients because you're already building the community for them with your followers.
Yeah, Sam wants to do a lot of that, and I think there'll probably be a point in time when we do. We just have so much more value, like proposition in like curating like stackable formulas. Like thermal has like a nootropic effect.
Yeah.
Like it definitely does for me.
Well, when I was talking before about like
Are you carnitine?
Carnitine and
choline.
And choline.
Oh right, at that too.
Yeah, so carnitine, choline, you get like a little bit of warming up. Like it definitely has like this kind of like this focus effect, which is undersold, I think, in my opinion. Because like when you bolt that onto like a pre-workout experience, it's like it definitely adds value.
we were talking about prop lens and how like the mystery, the magic factor of like just taking a product that you get an effect from the product instead of it like in today's culture. It's like I'm taking this pre-workout because I get blah 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 blah. I think with Glaxon, I think yes, there are a lot of super users that definitely use your products, but the normal consumer that's buying it at Joe Schmo's store. Brick and mortar is buying specimen because it's called specimen and it's made with real science, right?
So we're trying to marry that.
Yeah.
That's the whole mold to break. Like we're trying to mold it into that, and then once people are invested in like whatever it is, they'll hopefully start to like have some sort of halo into.
Because we make no mistake about it, the educated consumer is like at most 2% of the industry, right?
Less.
Like we used to call it 1%.
Less than 1%.
I like to think it's growing, right? But it's never going to be your entire group of consumers,
Well,
right?
and the educated consumer is always going to be behind a Joey or even the PricePlow blog. Like, so right now, the current consumer at least knows the beta-alanines and citrulines, whereas 5 years ago, they probably didn't. You know, so like the target's been moving, and so we're getting there.
But it's not moving in the right way. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, the
I'm just happy it's moving along at all. I
feel like
guess.
That's a very good point.
I feel like the rug keeps getting ripped out, like too, though, because like you learn about ingredients.
Sell a pre-workout that doesn't have beta-alanine in it.
Okay, Hostile did it
Why
last
would
year.
you? Well, did they sell a lot like in a retail setting?
They're D2C, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuad's
do they
gonna
have
sell them.
ambassadors? Do they have like a?
I definitely think there's a cat. I think
Do
this
they
just
have like
happens
a
to be the
big
one
time
thing you brought up.
ambassador and influencer program?
Yes.
Yeah, well, then that's what's selling it.
Possibly,
Not-
or that a lot
you
of
know-
people don't like beta-alanine.
Right.
tingles.
So when you take a product and you put it in a retail setting, like your ambassador's not really selling it that much. Your packaging is,
Sure.
and your flavors.
But I think
And
there's
if-
definitely a community for
and your-
pre-workouts without beta-alanine.
science.
I 100% think that there is, and
Prolific,
I advocated for that internally.
Yeah.
And my risk tolerance is pretty high, so like,
Yeah.
but I lost that argument, and ultimately I'm like, we can't. Like, it'll be a disaster. But like, you don't need to take beta-alanine pre-workout. Just take it every day.
How do you lose that argument? You're the boss. You're the owner.
Well,
so
because-
I'm not
because-
attacking. I'm just wondering how does that play out?
I mean, Joey can probably answer this, but like, I'm not. I don't care about like having a bad idea or being wrong most of the time. Joey says I have a golden wrench because I come in and throw a wrench and blow something up, and then we have to like do something different. Ultimately, I think it leads to a lot of good shit for us.
A lot of like great genius moves are in mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you ended up losing that specific argument.
Well,
at
so I lost
beta-alanine
that
and-
specific argument because, there were compelling points against it, and it's not worth like fighting. It's mold to break, so like you got to mold like enough to break it, right? Like you can't just like come in totally like different and fuck you. We don't give a shit what's normal here. Like,
We're almost
we
there.
kind of started out that way, right?
We're not there
Like
yet.
here, you want a pre-workout? Like, yeah, this will fucking knock your socks off, but like it doesn't have any pump in it or anything. But like we're just gonna knock your socks off, and you're gonna talk about it. So I don't know, but there's no reason to take beta-alanine before working out. There's no reason to.
I just say I am team beta-alanine. I am a fan of
In a
beta-alanine.
pre-workout.
I don't want to feel.
It should be taken every day like creatine.
Well,
Here we go.
Well, our first podcast ever for PricePlow was me at a different company arguing about beta-alanine. That makes this really funny.
I love it.
Just because
I
you're on video somewhere advocating for it to be in a pre-workout doesn't mean that it has to be. Like,
No,
it could be
I
wrong.
totally agree. But my thought process is you can't answer this question. How many other times of the day do you want to be itching your face off? Joey can't answer this question because he does it 4 times a day.
Yeah.
But most normal
That
consumers.
doesn't happen after a while.
Saturation's achieved and it's minimal.
How many normal consumers are actually saturated with beta-alanine?
How many people even take their pre-workouts every single
Nobody.
day?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
My only
There's
point is
quite
that
a
it's the
few
most
of them that
comfortable
do,
point in the
but-
day to be tingling.
so here's my thing. The reason that it's in pre-workouts is because it provides like a
Sensation.
feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then people think that's what's supposed to happen.
But how
it
many other
doesn't
times in the
do
day do you
anything.
want to be tingling?
Yeah, so for me, it's like, okay, you're telling me 4 times 800 milligrams. So basically, if it's capsules, I'm taking 8 capsules a day
Yes.
on top of everything else. Or you can I like AM PM stuff. So if it's 2 capsules, or if it's
I'm pretty
twice
sure
a day,
you
then
can
I'll
just
do it
take the full dose once a day.
The studies are done on even doses, I believe.
Yeah,
At least the
but
6.4
is
doses.
saturation, though.
Yes,
It's like
yeah.
creatine.
Okay.
So, like,
Yeah.
as long as you get there, you get there. Like, I mean, maybe if you want to get there faster, you have to take it every 8 hours.
Okay, then in
because
your
you
perfect
metabolize
world,
only
if
a
you
certain
won that
amount.
argument, where would the beta-alanine be in your stack if that argument had been won?
Or in the Glaxon
Easy.
stack in general.
Easy. You just pepper it in like 4 SKUs in smaller amounts.
Okay, so that's Evogen did that, or
Gaspari did that.
okay?
Yeah.
Gaspari had a beta-alanine and
No,
an
so
antivite.
I don't know.
So-
I can't speak for Caspari. I don't know if they did it because they wanted to like trigger people to buy it because it had beta-alanine in it, or if they were literally trying to serve up like, hey, we can get everyone saturated with beta-alanine.
They literally
and
had it in
not
their
put
multivitamin, which I thought was cool. It's like your
it's
daily.
in Anavite.
It's your daily dosage, which is cool in its own
How
way.
much is in the multi?
1600.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There was a powder, and then they had some horse pills for the.
It was the
we can pull
tablets.
it up possibly,
Yeah, so
but
like
yeah.
that's
I used to
dope.
take the
Like,
horse
see,
pills. Decent fan of Anavite.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
dope. Like I commend them for that because I think that makes a lot of sense.
We might have Sam to thank
You know,
for
like
that.
I have. Yes, thank you very much, Sam Strange.
I'm not-
I don't even know if that was done when he was there, but I think that's kind of cool. Sam would probably advocate against it, though. I don't think Sam.
Sam doesn't seem like the kind of guy that wants to be tingling during breakfast.
No, he doesn't. But the thing is that you wouldn't be tingling during breakfast every day.
I used to take 6.4 grams beta-alanine with 2 grams of niacin before I would take a hot shower in the morning.
So
I've
that's
seen
like
your
a
Instagram.
Three
that's
tablets,
like something
Anavite,
else,
3 tablets, 1600 milligrams in a multivitamin.
Wow.
I did the 6.4 gram
So
dose
how long
split
does it take
throughout
to
the
get
whole day.
saturation when you're taking
like a while.
1600 milligrams?
But
And
that was only half the stack. Then if you
The study said I was going to
But
put
can
20
you
pounds
achieve
on.
saturation with 1600 milligrams?
ask him, because eventually you're going to wear out your pool of carnosine. It depends probably what you're eating.
you're going to wear out the histidine pool before you wear out the carnosine pool. That's going to be the one that's going to be a rate limiting factor on that.
So
you need
more than 1.6.
Take your Xeno for that one.
Well,
Can we just
no
eat
one's got a shitload of histidine in
So
anything.
can we
steak? How much is in steak?
can we buffer the
That shit off the top of my head.
can we buffer the limiting
Surprise,
factors of
honestly.
saturation without beta alanine itself?
See this? Okay.
See,
okay.
this
Can
is
we
how
kill beta
stuff
alanine?
This is how
You
this
wanna
stuff
talk
comes
about
down.
killing beta
This
alanine?
is how we end up with
This
these
is
products.
and this is why Zoom podcasts suck, and this is how real podcasts are the best. Because I don't even know where we are right now, but
We're talking about killing
I'm
beta
just-
alanine.
I'm asking-
We're
I'm
talking about
asking-
killing beta alanine with Glaxon.
I'm asking Joey, like, so can we give someone a subclinical dose of beta alanine and add a supporting cast that buffers the rate limiting factors of saturation? So we could give someone, let's say we give someone 750 milligrams a day. It doesn't cause crazy tingling. And we've added a supporting cast that buffers the rate limiting factors of saturation. So like theoretically, like we're allowing them to get saturated without tingly, and they can take it every day, and it's really easy, and it all fits in 2 capsules.
Sounds simple enough.
Joey,
What's the catch?
Well, that isn't. Can we find things mechanistically that can do that? Then can we prove that they can work?
We must
and
birth
then
a new amino acid, an amino acid that doesn't exist. Kind of. It's a post-translational modification, kind of like hydroxyproline, but we can make something that
we know where to get hydroxyproline now.
you mean prolyl hydroxyproline.
Prolyl
The
hydroxyproline.
bacteria will make it for us. So there's a company that works on different fermentation projects with different microbes, molecular cloning, and getting them to essentially pump out whatever the heck you want, right? So, you know, when it comes to exotic amino acids and peptides, we're thinking about doing that with working with this one company that can do that for us. So prolyl hydroxyproline or hydroxyprolyl proline, the one that's in collagen, the one that does like 90% of the legwork, would be an easy way to make a vegan collagen peptide and something that could easily pull off everything that the collagen does without a bovine source and
really
made by
low dose.
fermentation and great supply levels.
So if some asshole comes out with this product in the next 6 months, Joey's gonna get really pissed.
I'm gonna gut you like a fish.
you said it. I was asking about beta alanine. I don't know what.
Good
you
luck. Good luck doing it. Good luck doing it. But anyway, so I don't know. But the point of that whole exercise
This
is
is
like
po-
that's how we end up
it's
with a lot of this
doable.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because
It's
like we
doable.
just like are tinkering and having conversations like as friends, colleagues, whatever. And you know, our natural inclination is like, I don't want to take beta alanine in a pre-workout to get saturated on beta alanine because I don't want a pre-workout every day.
Why don't you just put it in the DR creatine?
Well,
Like something like that. Like
yeah,
you
we
have
thought about that, but
daily,
it's like
allotment type thing.
it's creatine is like it's one of like a really special category that you got to pick your battles. Like, do you want to mess with creatine?
I feel like people are very purists about that.
Yeah, they are,
Right?
and I totally get that, right?
Mhm.
Like,
It's the only ingredient I buy consistently, always, no matter what phase I'm in, raw on its own.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And that, like doing it in a DR cap was like really like the least we could do. Like because there's not.
But it's still like
I loved your
hilariously simple.
Yeah, I loved your like attitude about it. We were like, you think it's gonna be better in DR cap? You're like, meh, I don't know. But
For people who have
It's
gut and
Definitely
gastric
not
issues,
gonna-
probably.
What we can
Yeah.
say is it's not going to cause stomach problems.
Yeah.
You don't have that creatinine conversion in stomach acid. Like most of the problems that the creatine has are because of what it does in the stomach anyway. So if you just bypass that,
So you do believe that creatine bloats and bothers some people?
It definitely bothers
only
some
the
people.
undermensch of society.
Every
There's
person
like
I know.
a lot of people. We have people who DM us about that all the time. That like they don't want to use. They don't get like gassy
Yeah.
like stomach issues anymore,
it-
and they only use the.
I've
DR
known
like,
3
'cause, like,
people that have
and
complained
know-
about this. 3 people that complained about this. They're all
What?
friends of mine about bloating or stomach problems with creatine monohydrate. And every single one of them, I dosed those guys with 5 grams of creatine monohydrate without them knowing, and they didn't have shit happen to them.
Of course.
I think these bodybuilders are all, it's nothing against bodybuilders, my best friend's a bodybuilder. But like I think these bodybuilders are always, they want to be like a unique snowflake, you know? Like, I'm special and creatine monohydrate bloats me, so that's why I take creatine HCl. Or crealkaline, because it's, you know,
Or
special.
you can take Dr. Creatine, and if you're a snowflake, you can have a snowflake product, and it's still
Just for you.
monohydrate, and it's
I thought
it's
that's
great.
Yeah, that's
But
what-
yeah, or like creatine HCl's got some legs. Creatine nitrate's got some legs. The salts have legs. in
Creatine
my
nitrate
opinion.
has some tons of legs. I think
Yeah,
that's cool.
but the other thing is like there's other forms of creatine that are not so interesting, where you kind of question them.
Like a theological doctor coming out with one that's buffered.
Look, I'm not here to tell people what to believe.
The whole little thing that you
leaving
did right here, though, I was just saying, like, this is why Glaxon is winning, and it may not be a big deal. I was talking to someone else, a Texas-based company, too, and they're like, yeah, we're mostly working remote, because Zoom calls, and, we get together in the office once in a while. And I'm like, dude, if you're not getting in the lab doing these kinds of bullshit sessions or getting in Joey's lab and saying, hey, let's bust out that stuff and see how it feels, you are going to lose to Glaxon. That's end of the story.
In the
You
game we're playing now,
yes,
for sure.
You
Yeah.
cannot Zoom your way to beating these 2 guys.
No.
I'm going to put everyone else on watch. Like, if you're doing remote meetings, you lose. That's it. I'm done.
One, it's not just the 2 of us. But,
I know, I'm
but
sorry.
we do
Yes,
have
yes,
a really
yes.
great like dynamic, I think. And
Shout out to Blair.
like
Help
Major
the
shout out
core
to
stuff
Blair and
that we
Robert.
do really
Sure,
well,
this-
like we'll
this-
go toe to toe with anyone. Like I think that's fun. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would get a huge kick out of that because like I wouldn't want to put like us against a wall. Like in just like a creative like formula like toe to toe competition. Like I think
Sorry.
what's that?
That sound was my stomach. I apologize. I think I
Oh, your
picked
stomach's
that up.
making noises.
mic-
Yeah, I
picked
think my
it up.
mic picked that up.
No, I don't think it did. Anyway,
I'm due for my 2-hour meal.
the fun stuff is like we don't even have like a big ambassador yet. Like we don't even have like we're not even like cranking yet in like big distribution in retail.
Do you really
Like,
need a big ambassador?
I think so because like we're trying to like it's mold to break. Like like own all the big brand shit, do it really well, and then don't stop doing this other shit. Like it's gonna feed it.
I just feel like you guys are the big ambassadors.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if you had time
Well,
to-
I'm not trying to do that. Like
No,
I'm not-
no,
You're
but I
trying.
mean, Glaxon is the big ambassador for its own brand, and you guys
yeah,
are Glaxon.
but like everybody wants a good spokesperson.
Yeah, we have a mascot.
You're in.
Like
yeah, you're
everybody wants.
But
a
that's
big
the beauty. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like the really cool thing is your mascot is a dude in a mask.
For now, but like, do you know how dangerous it is? Like when you bolt on like a really influential spokesperson.
That's
You're
why we have a
making
mascot.
the argument for me, like it is super
well,
dangerous. Like
yeah,
I don't feel
yeah.
like you. I don't think that Glaxon needs that.
I don't think
support
it
you guys
needs
too.
it, but like I think it's gonna be sick when we have it.
Your
Like,
upcoming infotainment, we'll call it, I think is going to be.
there's
that influencer
trust me,
for a
there's
while. I don't
like
think
some
you need to
on
hurt-
brand like folks out there. They're just like either super big ticket or they're hard to find. But there's on brand folks out there.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Bill Murray would be a flex, wouldn't it?
You
That
could
would be
have him just
hilarious.
like come bartend an event for you. Like who's your new ambassador? Bill Murray. He's behind
And
the
then
bar.
he can like just walk up. Like we could bring him to like, I don't know, some preposterous event or something like
Olympia?
that, and then just have it like a
Dress
one.
up in the Groundhog
Just
Day.
have it like,
Bill
yeah, like
Murray's here?
have Bill Murray in the Glaxon costume, and like he can open the hood and just tell people, like, whisper in there, be like,
You'll never believe me.
no one is ever gonna believe you.
Yeah.
Like, which is his like
a little
trademark
thing he
thing.
does.
I don't know if you're familiar, but there's like a documentary on that where like Bill Murray will walk up to a stranger at an airport and like
He'll eat their food.
He'll
usually.
do something really preposterous, like eat their French fry, and then be like, no one you tell this to is gonna believe you, and then he'll just walk off, which is like awesome, you know, like that's
troll
just
ever.
yeah.
He'll go to a party at a bar, climb behind the bar, and start serving everyone's drinks. Like he'll walk and be like, "Hey, I want like a whiskey coke." No matter what you ask from him, he'll just pour you tequila. You're like, "I want a whiskey coke," pours you tequila. "I want a beer," pours you tequila. He's
If
like
it's
an
Bill Murray,
ultimate
you
troll.
drinking that tequila.
What's
Dude,
it-
that's
yeah.
awesome. The art of trolling. Nice.
What's a great question to circle this all up? Who's in the mask these days? Who's in the suit?
Maybe Bill Murray.
But we're not paying him yet, so we can't officially say it.
Yeah, it's not an official collab yet.
I don't know. I've worn the suit for stuff. Joey's worn it. Everybody's worn it.
I usually look for context clues for how tall the people are in the suit.
It's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell. We have different size suits.
Oh,
So they're all
really?
baggy and stuff.
Oh no, I mean just like next to things next to you,
Like I had to do the what did we do? We did one like in a kiddie pool around 4th of July, and like that was like me in like a kiddie pool completely soaking wet, and like Blair's like taking content, and I'm like literally like throwing like thermal like back and forth in the water. You know, the shots were really cool, but yeah, I mean, I had to do that. I mean, I don't mind doing it, but I think that's kind of interesting because that's like some, you know, like you gotta want it.
How many other
You gotta want
CEOs
it,
we
but
get in a
that's it.
fucking spacesuit in the middle of July and get in the middle
Yeah,
At
of
what point in your business are you buying spacesuits?
What's that?
At what point in your business are you buying spacesuits?
This is one of the first things we did.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, you're
Yeah,
not
it
even
was
worried
one
about
of
being
the first
profitable
things we
first. You're
did
just like,
because we were just like we need a. I
That
don't
was
know.
when you were
I
renting
think it's, like,
Lambos in the
actually-
desert.
Yeah, I think it's like actually super marketable like now, more than we thought. But like you know, like the
helmet's
astronaut,
very
like the
COVID
Glaxon,
friendly.
like in a bathtub full of supplements, like this like space like suit dude, like in a bathtub of all of our products, like you see that and you're like, what the hell is this? Like, who are these people, right? And when you ask yourself that question, we've won, right? And
I was asking myself that question 2 years ago, and you guys are trolling us on Instagram.
yes, that too.
I'm never.
We need to get back to some more of that.
More
you
fake
know.
accounts trolling PricePlow.
Well, no, we'll do it with our own account, which is the beauty of it.
It's bold faced.
It is bold, but it's also like it. I don't know. It just like speaks to what I was saying earlier is like it's just crazy like that we're here. I think that like from my perspective, like we've just been like really honest about like where we're at, and we're like still doing what we want.
Do you guys ever feel like you're just like flying by the seat of your pants?
Yeah, but who
Every
isn't?
day.
Like who
Well,
isn't?
remember last year you guys deleted all your stuff off your Instagram and flew me out for the
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
And I remember like the whole way out. I remember you at one point you're like, "You think this is gonna work?" like we were just like kind of just like joking back and forth. Like, do you think people are gonna buy this? Like, not like doubting it, but just kind of like open conversation. Like, hey, do you think this is gonna work out? You know, and it was, and like at that time it was like, I think people are gonna really enjoy this, dude. But like we were flying out for this, or I flew and you drove out, and like there's no question these days like people are gonna fucking love this podcast, this content. You know?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
last year, I didn't know. Like it was kind of cool. It was fun. It was different. It was new.
I mean, I think that like the stakes are different, but the risks aren't. You know, like the risks that we're taking are like they're the same risks. They're just the stakes are not as high. You know,
Supply chain, I would say the stakes are
fortunate.
pretty high.
In different
the
ways.
stakes
yeah.
are really high with the supply chain. But I don't want to get on a pedestal over that. Like
Yeah,
that's
I don't know
that's
if I can afford to get onto a supply
that's a
chain
whole
conversation
other
at this
problem,
point.
and there's plenty of people
At
on
this
that
hour.
pedestal. But
Leave it to the fear mongers. It's fun.
yeah, but
no, we've had fun with this one. Yeah, we don't need to
Yeah, no, I don't. Anyway, it's just weird, and I don't know if that does it seem like that. Does it seem like we're really honest about like where we're at as a brand?
Yes.
Does that seem like is that normal?
I think that you are incredibly candid about it.
Yeah.
Which is refreshing and
Yeah,
fun.
and you're not telling us everything because you're on the cusp of this GNC thing. So there's obviously some kinks to work out.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, I can't tell you
But
things that aren't sure, but
I have very little doubt that the GNC partnership is gonna fail.
no, me neither. Like I think it's
You
like
worded that wrong, but I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Wait,
You said I have very little doubt this is going to fail.
I don't doubt.
That is correct context.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
it's
have
great
any
context. I
doubt
think that
that
the
this
cadence
is
is
going
what
to
threw you
fail.
off.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I got my logic.
Okay,
Anyway,
sorry.
Otherwise
no,
it's silent.
I feel the same way. Like it's a drop in the bucket. It's going to be a hell of a lot of work, and it's going to cost a lot of money. And like just like willing ourselves to stay true to like. Well, I don't think we know any other way. So like, there's going to be some roads that we take like we don't know any other road, and they're going to be the harder ones. And so it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be really cool, and I think it's going to work for sure.
I personally just really love the I don't know, exactly what I said like last year when you're like, do you think this is going to work? Like you're extremely candid asking like what do we think about stuff? You'll ask us all the time like, do you think this is a good idea? You called me about Goon. You're like, do you like 62.5 milligrams of caffeine? Like, is that too little? Like you know the data on all this stuff, but you'll still ask people.
Well, that's what we do here, you know. And sometimes like you know, I mean.
I just really appreciate that. So many, we talk to CEOs every single day, and it's so many times it's just this is this will this like.
What's something that that you contested that we did anyway?
I'm almost always in the same. I mean, you and I disagree about this and
Like,
stuff.
think about that.
I can't think of
I know
anything
there's
that I've
something.
contested where I said that might be a bad idea.
Off the top of my head, just like opening the blend of the choline blend, the colon ace. So that's not anything we've contested.
We've had healthy
Yeah, but I don't
pushback
really
on you
like
for that,
Colonase
but like,
anymore. So like to be candid, like I don't know like how much, you know, that was like a game of. I mean, what's in it? It's actually
love
like
choline
pretty
blends.
legit, but.
we've been pretty open about our pushback on the prop blends with you guys, and you guys are always like, it serves a purpose. We aren't like married.
We've
to
been
it.
transparent about Colonase being 2 to 1 to 1 the whole time, though.
Yeah.
But you know, I also liked it from personal preference because maybe I don't want just CDP or GPC or bitartrate, but a combination all thereof, you know. And I was really kicking myself that I didn't throw phosphatidylcholine in it, especially when I saw that egg study.
I've been so confused about why you do.
We do.
It's never too late.
We have phosphatidylcholine in super greens, and we don't even market it.
Well,
Right.
not with how they, not
We
with how
have
you guys run it.
phosphatidylcholine in super greens, and it's not even marketed.
Because you guys pre-blend the colonase, right? And that's how
We
part of the whole
pre-blend the
process.
Colonase, and it like it
So-
saves. It's actually like that astrolite can be pre-blended, so can lipidox and definitely myoseek. Lipidox, myoseek, and astrolite, like I have no issue with those. I think Colonase we haven't carried over to any other products. Pre-workout category though, like people see that and I think they find it more compelling than choline, like at large, like maybe not 1%, like super users where they want to like drill into it, but and so that's where we're like this whole mold to break thing is like we're trying to evolve it so we can placate both of those, in a really long-term sustainable way.
I think it definitely makes sense when you're talking about myoseek, lipidox, and astrolite. Those are things that you literally could study for what they are.
We will.
Yeah,
We are
I
going
know.
to.
Yeah,
We're doing it.
like colonase. Like if you're like we're gonna study this, I'm like the ingredients already all kind of have their own
Yeah,
data.
and I don't really like alpha GPC. I think it's like I don't know. I don't even know why it's more marketable than other choline.
what
I'm
about-
sure you can try to tell me, but
more marketable.
or like what's like why is it more efficacious?
They
You
have
know, it's
different claim
50%,
sets.
It's absolute. What's that?
They all have different claim sets for
Right.
the studies that have been run on them.
Right, but they all end up the same thing.
Donating choline.
Yeah, but
There's
no,
other parts to
GPC's
it.
got some growth hormone claims to it.
CDP has
Yeah,
like
but
some stimulating effects to it.
That's
that
exactly-
other ones don't.
CDP would have the same
always
growth
got 'em.
hormone claims if you studied it for that.
I don't know if that's correct.
Well, then what you think that it's the
There could be a
The
signaling
AV
role of the alpha glycerophosphcholine as a phospholipid more so than a choline source.
well, what are the natural sources of alpha GPC?
Soy and sunflower.
Soy and sunflower.
What about super shrooms?
Super shrooms, that's right. That one's awesome too.
That's something.
That one's straight
We would go
across
for a
the board.
completely
It's
different
all-
claim set.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
one's-
that would
one's
all be
straight up
immunity.
across the board. Like this is the same amount of every mushroom that's in it. The problem with mushrooms is,
You need a lot.
well,
You really need a lot.
super shroom. You should, if you're watching this and you really care about your health, you should take super shrooms every day.
You convinced me to get it yesterday.
It's like
We're doing
the
it.
benefits of like mushrooms are like
Any
it's
scratch from
wild. Like and if you're agnostic to mushrooms, watch Paul Stamets documentary or
I
just read
forgot
about
what it was called.
Listen to just Google Paul Stamets.
Paul Stamets is Joe Rogan episode from 2 years ago.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
He's
years
the
ago.
man.
Is he the
He's
psychedelic guy?
man.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
Is he the old psychedelic guy?
He
He bought
is,
the hat that was
but
made out
he's,
of fungus for Joe.
he's
He's
also
the old
like
psychedelic guy,
the
right?
premier dude
He's
in
like
in
pseudo
mushroom
psychedelic.
research.
Like
My
I think
colleague.
he's like into the psychedelic mushrooms like a little bit, but he's not like.
More
I
than
thought
that.
he was the
It's,
different
it's,
one.
it's that plus because I mean, like he's got patents on all these different like agaricon strains and strains of mushrooms that control the behavior of fucking insects. Like he goes deep.
Mushrooms are wild.
When I
They're
was at
like the
supply side-
only- they're like so unique compared to like other growing
When I was at supply side, there were people like legitimately out in the open talking about medicinal mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, like they're like venturing into other discussions of it, which is pretty incredible. I mean,
Like with booths showing.
I
Are
saw people.
psychedelic mushrooms legal
No,
in
it was
Vegas?
that guy who was
No.
pitching before me.
Yeah, that was one
They were
guy.
talking about it.
They were talking about there was one guy that was walking around. I didn't see any actual booths talking about it. I did see multiple people talking about it, however, and especially presenting before
Because
him.
when my first supply side, I saw about 4 or 5 CBD booths.
Oh,
And I
There
was
was
like,
none this year. It was amazing.
there was none.
oh
There was
really?
None.
Okay, because I was like, this is gonna be
2
a big
years
thing.
ago,
And
when
it
we
was.
all went, when that year you didn't go, when I was supposed to meet up with them, there were a ton that year. Remember,
Right.
there were
There
like
were.
a ton of booths of CBD.
Did they kick it out?
No, I just think it. I think that with supply chain issues and with
This is-
a lot less funding this year, there was a lot less gimmicks and grifts at supply side. I'll just be honest. Honestly,
Yeah,
seriously.
I mean, yeah,
like-
CBD's like.
I'm just saying, like,
Super low barrier to
taken
entry.
Tons of CBD. It doesn't really do anything acutely for me.
Right now, same here. I was just trying to say, like, when you start seeing one thing happen at supply side, sometimes you can see the next couple of years are going to blow up. And I saw that with CBD.
Yeah.
I'm wondering
did
if
blow
like
up.
mushroom intensity is going to.
I think so. I
increase.
think mushroom intensity is is in full swing.
I think
They're pretty
both
easy
sides
to
of
grow
it
and
too.
cultivate.
Yeah,
Both
it is
sides
in
of it
full
too, the
swing.
psychedelic and the medicinal sides of it. I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
I-
Psychedelics in general are like
I think, yeah.
blossoming and
I mean, people are talking about plant-based medicine
Yeah.
all over the industry right now. We were talking about young. Sorry, I had to drop that one. We were talking with young people in Vegas about it's about psychedelics. But we also talk with old people about psychedelics. You know, we talk about all sorts of people with psychedelics.
How old are we talking?
Middle-aged men,
Oh,
as well as or as young as
How
like
old am I?
we're talking
60 plus. I mean, like if you're around in the 60s or the 70s,
Well, they don't have. They don't remember
and
enough
you
to
still
talk
have a
about it.
pulse, then you probably have had some sort of a run-in.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about with young people from Colorado where it's decriminalized too. You know, it's like it's I think it's blowing up all over.
Yeah, and there in Oregon, you know, it's getting some legs, and you got people like MAPS that are actually getting grant money to run studies and stuff now. It's coming through. And if it's taken seriously, we might actually get more progress in psychotherapy here in the fallout
Maybe we
of
could do
this.
like a limited
Psychedelic mushroom run.
no, but
How about a
something-
mushroom enhancer? Do you have anything that will?
We've-
make it a-
Lipidox.
Lipidox, niacin, lion's mane, if you like Paul Stamets and his work.
MAO inhibitors,
Or,
cortisol blockers.
Yeah, MAO inhibitors is something we've done before. I mean, you partook in that, didn't you?
We've engaged in a lot of super shrooms, that's for sure.
They were very super. So, and the other thing is like something like Neuro 365 could very well play into being like a mushroom.
Just stay
buddy.
away from Huperzine A.
Really?
Yeah.
That's up to you. You know.
So it's like,
I'm a huge fan of nootropics in conjunction with psychedelic use, because a lot of times you'll go through like a psychedelic trip and it's fleeting and it's not easy to bring these concepts back into your like everyday life. You may have like 3 or 4 different epiphanies, but by the time you finally come back down to earth, you're like, what was I saying again?
And the acetylcholine might help with that?
Yeah, as far as like keeping memories and learning and behavior and all that, being able to maintain that.
I understand it's the learning neurotransmitter, but if the information's from a separate dimension, I don't know if the learning neurotransmitter helps.
Yeah.
Well, if you're on a trip, are you like depleting choline so quickly that you're like just gonna fry it out? And
You're moving through so many different neurotransmitters at the same time that it'll even have an effect on you physiologically and stuff. Where, you think you might be like, having different colors radiating through you, but you're really just seeing like your fat cells, and you'll see like patches of blood move, and you'll be like, what is this? Because that's part of the body's own natural detoxification process. There's an element of that going on when you take some sort of a psychedelic. Your body starts to freak out a little bit and says, whoa, I don't like this is different, and this is like rattling my cage. So you have increased salivation, increased urination, going to the bathroom, you're sweating a little bit. This is the natural detox process. And, like when you lose color in your face and your face goes flush and your lips turn blue, and then you lay down and then it all comes back. And, there's a lot of different things that are involved in this, on a physiological level and on a psychological level, that it's tough to really integrate these things into like, how do I make practical use out of, this insane experience that I'm going through.
Would nootropics be suggested for a first timer?
No.
Is this more okay? Right. I was wondering if this.
No.
Yeah, okay. Right.
I would say that's probably definitely an advanced user's kind of trick.
We gotta state these things.
Spend your money on.
First of all, I'm not on this podcast to endorse any first timers of anything, but there's definitely like some fruitful payoff. If you are well disciplined.
Very well.
Well,
You guys having drama over here? Right?
I don't know. He just keeps showing me DMs of weird.
So
Weird
we have
DMs.
a person in our Goon Squad program that they just DM'd me, and they asked me if I've used like my Goon Squad like affiliate points to redeem for a gift card. And I was like, no, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, like have you used your points like in the system that we have? And I was like, oh, I'm not like an affiliate in the.
Didn't realize you're the CEO.
He doesn't know that.
Is it trying to buy your points from you, or like?
I don't know what he's trying to do.
Dude, is this person being nice, or are they being?
Yeah.
They're being. I think they're being
Entertain
naive.
this,
like,
please.
I
don't think he
they're being
understands.
naive. I don't think they understand.
I mean,
I'm not like outspoken. Like I don't.
You're not very goaty about being the CEO of the brand. Like, that's
No,
good.
I don't think it's. I think it's silly. It's
Yeah.
a silly waste of mental energy.
You don't show everyone your Lambos, and
I don't have a Lambo, but
you
if
smoke
I did,
Lambos.
yeah,
It'd be
I think
electric.
that's like part of our branding. No, yeah. So anyway, but
If you had a Lambo, you would have lit it on fire by now, just like our trophies.
Yeah.
yes, if you guys give us more trophies, we might light them on fire.
We're not giving them any more trophies.
No, I don't know. Maybe we won't light them on fire, but I thought that was kind of fun.
I thought it was funny. I make fun of you for it, but
I thought that was kind of fun. I don't know.
It would be like really funny for you to do like a mock photo shoot where you literally are wearing a suit and you light a Lambo on fire. That's how little you care for that kind of stuff. I understand it would be a huge expense.
But then it would kind of say that I do care, right? Like that's
How many hungry children could have
That's the
eaten off
thing.
of that Lambo?
That's the thing about like social media is it's like the most
By making
self-centered
those moves, you do care,
place there is. Like everything that you're doing is like intentionally broadcasting.
Yeah.
Like so you can't.
Yeah.
The only
It's
way
like
to
projecting.
not do that is to not participate.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you lit our trophy on fire, you were really saying how much you do care about it.
I guess in a sense. Yeah.
The only way to get out of this conversation is converting to becoming an Amish person, maybe a Mennonite or something. It shows how little you care about those.
A lot of supplements.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I think when we
supplements
did
are,
the
like,
trophy thing,
the
it was like
lifeblood.
just to do something.
It was witty. It was
just
yeah.
to do something disruptive. Like, I mean, I think we we're getting into that like awards season, and like brands get like real postured as you get closer to it, right?
Oh yeah, we're seeing.
We should totally we should totally close this out with the Glaxon Awards. You should definitely award some awards to the industry.
To other people,
Yes,
other brands.
100%. And then we could just let them do the awards for the year, so we don't get the criticism.
Everyone will be twice as mad. I want to hear what their awards are, but at the same time,
Categories where like we pick winners
we
and
can't.
we can't pick ourselves, kind of thing.
This is a like zero-sum game.
This is
Okay.
definitely
Let's
zero
not
sum.
do
I'm
It's a zero-sum
sorry.
game. It will definitely get people to watch the whole video, though, if you put this at the end.
Who are Glaxon's
Glaxon-
pick?
You guys
This
are
out.
very good at giving credit. I'm gonna be honest with you. You are good at giving
Yeah,
credit to
man.
other brands.
let's start with ingredient of the year.
Ooh.
right.
Ooh.
What was ingredient of the year last year?
We didn't really have one.
Oh, so this is
I
ingredient.
guess I would have said Glucovantage no, Bebo was kind of our.
I think Baby was
Bebo,
last year.
yeah, might have been
I
agree
I think
with
Baby
that.
was last
I
year
can
for
agree
sure.
with that.
Let's look at some tubs here.
I would say Tributyrant's got a good shot, even though we haven't used it.
I mean, like, what ingredient took over? At least my interpretation. What ingredient did you see the most or the most hype about this year? Like, what do people talk the most about? I have an opinion on this. But
Being
I don't like
ALANINE.
it.
Yeah,
I think we talked more about that
20 minutes.
this last 20 minutes.
Turkesterone.
What's
Oh,
that?
that's a good
Which
point.
one?
This is
Which
fucking
one?
shit bullshit.
What's that?
Ectosterone, Turkisterone.
Oh, no. Nobody's talking about that. There's
Everyone's
like 8
Just
people talking
98%
about
of
that,
TikTok,
yeah.
but no one's on TikTok.
Is it really
Fuck
that
those
big
guys.
on TikTok?
Yes.
All right, well, whatever. There's like
It's
8 brands
unfortunately.
that have
Yeah,
small
but before
amounts
that
of
it was
so like
before that it was tyrosine being a thyroid booster.
yeah, I mean we like that will go away.
I shield you from the TikTok trends. It's for
I
your own
don't think
good.
that either of those ingredients aren't in any big wholesale distribution as far as I know.
What Turkisterone and
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That was totally a joke. I think social media wise, it's definitely the ingredient of the year because it's just what everyone's talking about.
Right,
But
for
in terms
now.
of efficacy,
We would have to give credit to fucking Turkisterone because hands
Everyone's
down,
talking about
that's who's winning this
Yeah,
year.
thanks, Derek.
Well,
Get more
I
plates,
guess
more
you have
dance.
to. Yeah, you have to say how do you win the of the year thing? Is it just because people are talking about it, or like what is actually the
We've had this
best
discussion
ingredient
quite a
of
few
the year?
times.
of good ingredients.
I mean it's I mean I don't, okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
It depends. It
Blow
depends.
up.
It depends on the category.
Fine,
Like
we'll just burn it down. No, it's whatever you want to decide is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's an infinite amount of metrics and there's an infinite amount of
yeah, we could argue this all
perspectives
night.
about those metrics and
So we could
You
call
know,
that best nutrition.
like
fad
we're not going to
of
give Life
2021.
Extension brand of the year, right? Like at least nobody in our sphere is going to give Life Extension brand of the year.
Though they
They
probably
should be like
But
brand
they're
of the
deserve
they're
century.
dropping bangers like
All
they
the
really
time.
are dropping
Yeah.
bangers all the time. They give us a run for our money, and they have massive distribution, and like they've
Cult
checked
following.
off whatever. Like they have checked off so many boxes that like if you want to figure out what boxes need to be checked off, you can definitely just allocate them to Life Extension.
But when you talk about like actual impact, is what I go with brands and stuff.
Right.
Like
So
that,
then,
you know,
like whatever you want to define impact as, like who is being impacted?
I want to hear your
Someone's
ingredient of the year
checkbook,
for
like, who's being
2021.
you're not gonna like it.
Is it no level?
No.
All right, what is it?
So we're still going off of like who talked about it the most,
Yeah,
who used it the
For
most.
ingredient of the year, I would say more like it's like a breakout ingredient of the year.
Yeah, it's like what ingredient was used the most frequently, widespread. Everyone was talking about it.
It has broke out. Like everyone obviously used
It
caffeine
broke out
this year.
No, but this is an ingredient that like went from being in like a couple products to being in a fuckload of products.
I know.
No, dude, it's
no.
inactive. It went from being in like one product to being in like 50. Like,
Yeah.
like we can talk about astragalosides and Panax ginseng all night if you guys want, but like the whole thing of it just like literally going from being, I don't mean to dong on New Leaf. It wasn't nowhere, but it went from being effectively nowhere to being effectively everywhere.
It just got partnered on with so much of the estrogen that was already in the market.
Yeah.
It was
We have
Totally.
inactive in this.
in Goon.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
We have astragalus, membranous
We have
root,
astragalus.
and
Oh, I see your
nitrogensin.
point
It's
there.
different.
There's
Different.
It's the
How
same.
would you
though.
know?
If we just take the word estrogen off and replace it with synactive, it's the exact same.
No, synactive's Rosa roxburghi or something.
Oh, he's
like
right about the
Is
Rosa.
that how it's standardized on the label?
It's a different plant.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
There's
different
one
plant.
different plant switched out, but I also think that
The
and
astragalus
this is what
sides are different as well.
Are
different
they?
astragalus
But they're
sides.
not standardized.
They're not written on the label.
Wait,
Right.
Just like
so
your
they're-
English
they're
ivy is an
ginseng.
ivy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but we do that because like we don't want to.
You don't want a dog whistle, yeah. Maybe they don't either.
Well, we're not selling it to anyone.
You're selling your products to everyone you possibly can.
We're not selling the material to anybody. You know what I mean?
So
like,
you
we
just-
have no claim set to like say.
You just
hey,
want the
X
information
brand
to be
used this
available.
ingredient and then.
Right? You just want the information to be available, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty
So
sure we have
couldn't
NDAs
we make-
in place.
Yeah.
We've got supplement labs up that explain English ivy and its constituents.
And the constituents and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the percentage and standardizations.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we actually do that too.
I think we have
anyway,
is it an 11?
Yeah, it's 11 on
11%.
ours.
Yeah.
There are some others that are like 20. Once upon a time, I had a 95, but that
Isn't a
dried up
dietary
over a
ingredient.
decade ago.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's not like that. My thought process. It went from being in a couple products to being everywhere. So
what did it used to be called though? Because it was
Actogen.
around.
That was part of the
Actogen.
problem.
Yeah.
Actogen
So
sounded
does it
too much
really
like
break out?
Actogen.
Because Actogen was available. 2
Actogen
years
wasn't
ago.
in many products. Like no matter whatever you name it, it went from being not widely used
We have a
to being
customer that
super
put
widely used.
Actogen in their collagen almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, it just
So I don't know if it's
grew
really break
widespread.
out.
That makes sense if you're going for the senolytic play.
Yeah, you could
What
say
I see
David was
in
in a
sports
couple products
nutrition, I see
too.
it more as the VO2 max endurance play, and that's what the latest study kind of demonstrated. I
So
like that
that's-
I like that as ingredient of the year.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that and see how many in products it's actually in, and if I like those products. You know,
Yeah.
or brands or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not talking efficacy at all. I'm just talking same as like brand. Like we could say like there was definitely a year where Redcon was brand of the year. They were fucking killing it. They were dropping products
Based on
all over.
impact.
Yeah, based on impact.
You couldn't have
Impact
You could
of
come out
what,
here
though?
and say Total War isn't a good pre-workout, and we could have that
Yeah,
conversation.
but like
for
what
sure.
impact?
But
Impacting
impact.
what? Who?
Like
Well, there was a moment, and it was a year-long moment where you couldn't have a conversation or a phone call without Redcon 1 coming up.
just like people talking
At
about
least I could.
Glaxonifying things, or and other ones like
Yeah.
every brand calling us and saying they want to be the next Ghost. Like that moment has happened for these different brands. You might not like Total War or Big Noise or whatever, but there was a year where it was Redcon. You know. So when I talk about like brand of the year and stuff like that, it's just about impact and
No, Total War is a solid pre-workout. I mean, maybe it needs to be tuned up a little
There's
bit.
a
but
lot of people that enjoy it.
Yeah,
It sells and sells and sells.
Total War is probably a bad example. Big Noise would be the one that I would really set on not being a great product. Sorry.
Total War does well.
Total War is,
it's fine.
works for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it's so contentious though because the people that are like
Who are
being
your runners
impacted-
up against Synactive?
And so I once I came to that conclusion, I stopped thinking. So to be honest with you, I can't think of many others. I would put like
New Level.
New Level, Glucovantage out there. Like it was just, and again, just speaking about distribution wise, like went for like impact and spread. New Level, but hit a whole bunch of different categories. Glucovantage hit a bunch of different places. And I'm only talking also trademarked ingredients. Or
Yes.
We're not talking about, like,
I think the NNB's really got something with ergothionine and spermidine, but holy
But it hasn't spread
fuck. They're just so fucking expensive.
they dropped the price on the
I would say-
Mitoprime ergothionine, but
I would
I
say
did notice that.
tyrosine, if we're talking non-trademarked or patented ingredients, tyrosine went from being like 500 milligrams in a couple products to being like a
Everywhere.
couple grams everywhere.
Yep.
I think that was because of all the
Yeah.
videos I've
It's
done
really-
talking about tyrosine.
I'm gonna make a big play for the Bio NMN. I had a good day. So
Yeah, but it still doesn't spread. Like
No,
we're
no, it's
talking
not-
about
Yeah, I
it's
know,
not
but I
break-
don't like
No,
that.
it's
Like,
not.
I don't like the impact based on the metric of like its spread or distribution because then it's like there's things that like spread and distribute like for no good reason.
Sure.
Like they're not for the betterment of
Turkesterone.
anyone.
Sure. Yeah,
Like,
it's a great
turkesterone,
point. I
like,
agree.
people like running around trying to buy like stupid like like apple cider vinegar because someone like exploded on TikTok.
Goalie.
But that's the same. I mean, that's the same criticism we get for giving Ghost the brand of the year. Like,
no, but like you could give Ghost brand of the year because they literally bottled up like 5 years of work, and like it's like there's like they hit like a pinnacle where, like, I mean, in my opinion, and I'm not saying that they can't still do really awesome shit, but like they really catapulted themselves like through the process of like not small, but like kind of a niche distribution wholesale brand to like having canned energy drinks at the gas station across the street from my house. Like,
but your point before was
that was a huge thing. And then I think there's people who are like for the first time seeing their disruptive branding, which like isn't disruptive to us anymore because we're sort of scholars of the industry, but that for me, like, how do you, like, I don't know, like, there's no impact, like, it doesn't, like, impact, they've had impact forever, like, since they started, you know?
But your point being before that there's an infinite amount of rubrics that we could use to choose our...
well, I'm just saying, like, that impact that they had at that time was for good reason.
Sure.
Like, for good reason.
And I would say...
Total War at the time, like, if you wanted to go there, like, I think that's for good reason, too.
So if you wanted to talk about an ingredient for good reason had expansion, what would you say? Because I totally agree with you.
I mean,
don't
like,
think
in a biased way, like I'd probably just start combing our sub-facts panels and being like, which ones did we like pull into this? Like,
a lot of collagen's been blowing up, but there's not a specific.
IO collagen maybe.
The IO collagen.
Draco Bell.
But again, how has that expanded in a meaningful way? Like, who else has done Draco Bell?
Well,
I see
Call him.
There's reasons that other
Now,
people haven't been
let
able
me
to
throw
do
this
it.
theoretical out there.
Well,
Everything
things like that start to happen, you know.
I know where this is going.
So like
everything Ghost has achieved this year has also been achieved by ALANINE, and no one talks about
That's also another
them.
thing too, right? Like
They have a fucking seltzer.
yeah,
They've got
Alanine's
a lot of
going
shit.
off.
My wife's
Like,
asking for bubbly.
They've
to
been
ask
going
for
off,
bubbly.
but then you ask yourselves, and I don't know the Alani folks, like, so I don't,
But they,
if I piss you off,
impact-wise,
reach out, but,
FDM, full fucking blown. They're in alcohol, they're in protein, they're in fucking energy drinks, they're in snacks, they're everywhere.
So like,
They
so like, who are you?
boomed.
Like, yeah. So whose impact is important in that situation? Because like, their growth and distribution is, for the good reason of like they've just kind of seized on the opportunity.
Sure.
I've seen them do some like cool, impactful things with flavors, like that witch's
Witch's
whatever.
Brew. Yeah.
Pretty badass. I've seen them do like impactful, like they've scaled really quickly.
Yeah.
Their ingredients aren't impactful. Their branding's not all that impactful.
That's where they slip a little bit in the formula.
Yeah, their pump product being like 750 megs
Are we
of
talking about
nitrogen.
ALANINE?
Yeah.
Yes.
The branding is impactful because it's no pink tax. I think that, and it's not new this year.
Right. Well,
Hold
it's no
your
pink tax
horses,
now,
okay?
But
This is
5
the
years old.
only pre-workout with 1600 beta alanine that really comes into the conversation. Marketing as a serving when it's really, just a half dose here.
When you say pink tax, like, if you're specific to money, if you're specific to money, you're right. It doesn't cost more for the product, but the product is specifically sold as a female product. I mean,
And
not
you get
say it
less.
on it, but it definitely there is a portion of pink tax that it's a pink bottle that's for women and it's lower dose nitrosamine and shit because it's for women. We all know.
Anyway, what I think that we're like kind of getting at is it's like the impact is like maybe like for you in our community.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I get that. I'm specific to sports subs, and I don't consider ALANINE Nutrition to be in sports subs. I've considered it to be in female subs.
They've kind of solved the like Me Too issue with sports supplements because like there's men who buy those products now, and
The
there's
RTD's
like
100%.
What's that?
The RTD's 100%.
Yeah, the RTDs.
But I don't see any men
pre-workout.
walking into GNC walking out with a snack and a fucking pre-workout from them.
There's snacks for sure, man. People don't give a shit about that.
I bought
I
Alani
bought
bars.
Snacks, yeah.
Buy anything that you think might be innovative to the industry, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, like they've done a lot.
Not taking anything away from them. I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. The seltzer's pretty badass too.
They've killed it and they've been quiet about it.
No, they haven't been quiet at all.
No?
It's just
Yeah.
not
Just a
like
different community.
impactful. It's just not impactful to like
It's a different community.
our community.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just a totally different
our
community.
small community.
And that's okay. We talk about direct-to-consumer brands staying in their own channel and line and not worrying about they make their own community, right? They found their community and they dialed in on
Bottom
them.
line is, you guys are fucked. Whoever you pick for whatever awards, like you're gonna have contenders like against it because there's no clear-cut metric. Like it's
people
kind of
don't
fun
know
in
how it
games, you know.
Well, yeah, what's bothering me is I thought of like a second to third place contender for ingredient of the year, and I lost it. So
Oh no.
my brain's starting to fry out here.
Now,
yeah, we
when
can
you
wrap it.
when you look at a brand like Revive/Raw,
That's tough, dude. Because
do you consider the two as one?
No.
No. So either one of them has to stand on their own legs.
Yes.
Because if you look at them both, it's like, oh, you guys have had a great year.
Yeah.
But if you separate them, you're like,
I think Revive has still had a great year, but well, I think Raw has actually has an insane year. But like for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Revive has done a really cool job just expanding.
Yep.
Right? Raw had a really great whole bunch of product launches, or similar to you guys,
Athletes.
relaunching products while making it cheaper and higher servings because of certain things that have happened for them, or bringing on Chris Bumstead is obviously a huge
Yeah,
one.
that's wild.
I would make an argument that my brand of the year is Doug Miller, because I like the three, but it's the same deal as the Revive
Yeah, that's a good
MD.
question.
The three brands that he controls
I've
put
done
them all together,
amazing
and
shit.
They've done a ton of stuff.
Right.
So why?
Mike's biggest reason for that is because he uses so much of his stuff too.
Dude,
And when
I-
we talked about this,
Dude,
I'm a-
I have gotten zero bad to say about those guys. Their shit is fucking awesome, no
course
matter
so.
you ever take
what
the
of the
clarity
brands.
from Arms Race?
Yeah, I've taken clarity from Arms Race. Like David's hooked me up with all that shit.
It's good stuff.
And it's great. It's just well thought out, well put together, and it's Arms Race packaging could probably use a little bit of work, and maybe even Core American Labs. Fucking great.
That rebrand.
They have
Rebrand,
such
beautiful.
a gimmick, such a beautiful gimmick,
But
and
they-
they own it.
But they gamified it a little bit. Like now it's refined. The restoration, the new tubs look awesome.
Yeah.
I thought of it because it's in Boom. My number 2 ingredient of the year is Zoom XR.
He really likes this
I
one.
am big on Boom pre-workout.
Other than the fact that he
because
couldn't sleep last night for the extended
well,
release.
I took it too late. There's an extended release caffeine that I
Yeah,
like.
but it's 8 hours. Like
I like
8
it.
hours in your day when you're awake for what? 16? It's tough. It's really tough.
We have Zoom XR and the caffeine SR. We have like
we
what
have
I guess
caffeine
4
SR.
different specs of delayed release caffeine.
Yeah.
A delayed
Not a
release,
huge
extended
fan.
release.
Caffeine lasts too long anyway. It you know. So.
I have problems, but no, I like it. Yeah, maybe I'm
Okay.
too fast a metabolizer, but yeah, that knocked me.
Yeah.
Did you get your
There's no way
23andMe
you
nut done? Do you know if you're a fast caffeine
I
metabolizer?
unfortunately did give them my DNA, and I regret that.
Yeah, but it's kind of
I
neato.
have to. I actually think I'm a normal metabolizer.
They're gonna come
but
for you.
No.
They
It's
have
really
all
good
your
for you.
DNA. You can't believe you
If the
gave
thing
your
is, if they
So
want
does-
my
so
DNA, I
does
get blood
GNC.
tests and stuff. They want my DNA, they're gonna get it. But yeah,
Well,
Your new partners did that as well.
now they're
Did
they're
what?
gonna
They
design
did a
the
whole
next.
genome thing as well.
oh, they did.
Yeah, they did a whole genome box where they like they ran your genes for supplements and
It's
stuff.
kind of badass. Like
It is.
unless you like get like kind of
Except GNC
conspiracy
has all
about
your
it.
genes.
That'll
and
eventually
genes
be the
that-
future of like.
Yeah.
Here's my lab.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
ancestry DNA.
I
I
don't. You
did the
can't
same-
mass produce that shit.
No, you can't.
No,
right,
no, but you can get really cool. Like I did mine with 23andMe, and then I downloaded like this like text file that
Yeah.
was like my full code,
Raw
and I
data.
Put that into
uploaded it to
Prometheus.
like yeah, something like
I think
that.
they got bought. But yeah.
And then it gave me like all the SNPs, like, and then details about all the SNPs in my DNA, and like you know.
Did you get the blood clot?
and Dr.
test
Rhonda
from
Patrick has
23andMe?
something with that too.
That's one thing I really think 23andMe does really cool is they do a couple of those hereditary
Yeah,
health things.
I have all those.
It's
I
the
don't have anything
TVB test or
concerning, but
something.
I'm a carrier for some kind of like, and I'm not Jewish, but it's like some Ashkenazi like autoimmune condition, and I'm a carrier for it. So if I
Kids,
if I
yeah.
married
So you
someone,
gotta watch out for your kids to.
no, because my wife doesn't have it.
Oh, okay.
And it's like really slim, you know. It's interesting though, but
Interesting.
yeah, it is interesting because it's like if I married someone who had it, then our kids would be like really fucked up. But it's you know like less.
How
than
fucked up are we
1%.
talking? Like 10, 11,
They wouldn't
11
live. They
toes?
wouldn't live like for more than a few years.
Sorry.
I'm a
No,
carrier.
don't be sorry. Like my
It's
kids
heavy.
don't like my
Sorry,
kids
yeah.
don't have it because like
I was
I
imagining
didn't
like
marry
some
anyone who
like
did.
weird reaction.
I'm
And
a
you
carrier
can carry
for-
stuff and like it doesn't cause the disease, but
I've got a carrier gene for medium chain triglyceride dehydrogenase or something deficiency. So I have one copy of this. If I were to find something who also had this inability to break down like C8 and smaller, then the kid would have to have a little note in their pocket with like a snack in it, because they have a tendency to pass out in random like public settings and stuff because they just run out of gas. And they'll go super hypo, they can't break down any fats, and then they just pass out.
You had your girlfriend tested for this?
It's on the way, okay? She's being
we're all
genotyped
going-
as we
You
speak.
look at his watch like, oh,
It's actually happening right now.
Yeah. No,
I would love
it
to.
is midnight.
I
We've
love.
made it till tomorrow.
I would love to know like how many things. We're not going to get our hotel rooms. We're just going to use the ones from yesterday.
Just to sleep on this floor.
Yeah. How many things when you date Joey Savage does she test you for?
Oh gosh.
She hasn't asked me. Well, I'm sure psychological tests plenty, but like,
Well, your astrology number one.
Yeah, astrology is with the first
That's key.
filter,
Are you a Capricorn? Is the number one question.
and if you are,
Get the
Get
fuck
out.
out of my life. This is the real thing.
Is that your nemesis?
not really.
What are you?
Yeah, it
I'm a
absolutely
Virgo.
is.
Okay.
It absolutely is your nemesis, Capricorns.
I
It
just,
is.
I don't believe in any of that shit.
But from
I
his
just
standpoint,
don't like them.
from his
Okay?
standpoint, you would say he sees Capricorns.
Like I
as
don't
his
like
nemesis.
tomatoes on
I
my
guess,
sandwiches.
He
Okay,
also,
just like get
chose
that shit out of here.
He chose to work here after like running my like charts.
You're not a Capricorn.
No, he's a
No,
Leo.
Leo with like all kinds of bullshit that like was favorable for.
We had the same birth chart. Did you know that?
Similar. Yeah.
Nah, kind of.
Enough that he freaked out when he saw it.
I was like, wow, this is interesting. You guys are extremely similar, consciously and subconsciously.
I'm Sagittarius. I'm
Yep,
coming up.
I knew that already, but
It's all meaningless.
I'm a Capri Sun.
Wait, what, you knew that?
It's like just
Yes.
a silly form
because
of
you looked up my
entertainment. Like
Facebook or like.
I look up everyone. I have a database in my phone, Mike
That's all
Roberto.
shit saved in his phone, dude.
Do I exhibit very Sagittarius traits? Am I living up to the?
Yes, in a good way. Like your public dissemination of information is like the thing for a
this is
Sagittarius.
like the same as like
and travel.
This is the same as like ingredient of the year.
Interesting.
Like you can like there's all these boxes already exist. You just pick which ones you want to use. You know what I
ever
mean?
seen that
Do
meme
I
of the
exhibit
guy-
traits of a Sagittarius? It's like, well, you have all these and these align, so yes.
But
You ever
let's
seen that-
ignore those other.
Yeah, don't worry about the other ones.
You ever seen that meme of the guy screaming in the girl's ear in the club, and she's just like really not kind of listening to him, and he's like really trying to have a conversation with
Yeah.
her?
Yeah,
That's like
I love that meme.
When,
I like
when
the
we were at
baseball
supply
part of
side,
it.
that was us talking about astrology in the club.
Oh my god, that was so weird. So like,
He pulls
The
up
girls from
everyone's
Storm.
thing on his phone. He's swiping through and showing everyone's births. It's crazy.
the girls from Storm Lifestyle, they were there, and they're like, "Oh, you know about astrology?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
You're like, bitch, I'm
lot.
a lizard
Shout out to
king.
Storm.
And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, what are you?" And I'm like, I'm just thinking back in years, like trying to figure out because Jupiter moves, once every 12 years into another sign. Like you can narrow down someone's
that, right?
personality traits pretty quickly. That's
You know.
Jupiter's ruling sign is Sagittarius. So you go through 12-year cycles. Yeah.
Where am I in my 12-year cycle? Or does it matter when I was born, or just where?
Kind of
Jupiter is?
both. Kind of both.
Dude, Joey, like no joke, beginning of 2020, just on the phone, we were FaceTiming.
Yeah.
He predicted like real shit for me down to the fucking day. I'm not kidding at all. Like he was like, June 20th, you're gonna have a really fucking big day with your friends. Like something crazy shit's gonna happen. My best friend got married that day, and I was the only friend invited to the wedding.
Wow.
That day, June 20th. I know. I hate horoscopes. I hate this stuff. I know.
I hate it.
I don't like this stuff at
Who am I to
all.
judge?
Dude, I think it's wonky, witchy shit, but he called that, and it was right. Like, I have the text message. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy.
You don't know unless you look. You're right. Otherwise, we have free will.
2024, the revolution's coming, Joey says, so.
Yeah, that's what we're keeping our eyes on. 24.
We should fucking hurry up, right? Yeah.
Well, on that note, I need to go to
Revolution?
bed.
Yeah, if we have a hotel room, because they
I need
didn't
to
give
drink
us.
some tranquility.
Oh,
And
God.
just go to
Tranquility.
fucking
How is
bed.
this camera not just completely dead?
Or just
plugged in.
exploding.
Plugged into the wall.
Hardwired.
It's like
So I have
frying on
I have a special-
the inside, right? It's overheating.
But no, instead of a battery, you plug in a wire into the wall.
Okay.
So Ben's got to get. That's why we're using my camera instead of Ben's higher quality camera. For
What, we have like 4 hours of content on here.
My camera
Yeah.
would over here.
So this
right
has been cut into 2 videos. This is going to be almost 3 hours.
Jesus.
It's gonna be great. People
All right.
will watch all of
Be
this.
very
You're gonna have
good
to
with your
cut it
editing.
into,
'Cause
like-
there's some shit in there, but there's also some gold.
No, you don't need to edit anything out.
No, you will watch this whole
Just
thing.
when we cut for lunch,
I
will
made a
watch this whole thing.
I didn't
semi-racist
stop the video
Chinese
soon
comment.
enough, just in case, and we're all like just chewing. It was
you?
disgusting.
I said ancient Chinese secret when we were talking about New Live Science. So
Oh.
you're going to need to come through this.
Now you got to go through this one too. And
Is this guy trolling me?
you mentioned the G word for that one ingredient that is.
No, dude, you don't.
Wait,
What?
there was one ingredient you took.
Lactium.
No.
No.
That should have been the ingredient.
Ginseng?
Yes.
Yes. We tried to scrub that over with a botanical.
Yeah, botanical.
Oh, he said
I'm still
ginseng,
recording.
so I thought it was okay.
What?
You were like a
It's what a
version of
botanical.
ginseng.
No, if they see ginseng, they're going to watch this fucking video. They're going to know it's them.
Who?
The people with the
like halfway.
ginseng.
Do you think those people are gonna make it 2 hours into our
We didn't
podcast?
tell anything that's not true. Wait, do we have an NDA with them?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't say anything.
We
that was
usually have
secret.
NDAs with most people. I at least thought of half a dozen things I wanted to say here at this table and be like, fuck, I can't say that because we have an NDA in place.
Okay, well.
They can't enforce
Just
it.
have to be really vague and non-committal.
The question is,
I said ginseng, but like that could have been New Live.
Easily could have been New Live.
Could have totally been New Live.
They're going to get so self-conscious and they're not going to know it's not them.
this part definitely needs to be cut out now.
Well, we said that it was fermented,
Also-
and then we couldn't figure out, but we didn't say who
I
it
take notes for
was.
you, but we're.
I don't know, dude. Like those people aren't gonna do anything.
All right, let's just close this out and then
Yeah.
figure out
So I have a lot of editing to do.
you.
a little bit.
A little bit of ASMR.
You gotta
Thank
think
you for
about it.
joining the podcast.
Gentlemen, I appreciate greatly all of your time. I appreciate you having us. I appreciate the products. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate this podcast. I've had a blast. And Ben, thanks for getting my ass out here.
Spoken like
Needed
a true Sagittarius.
What, we're very thankful. I am gracious. No, this
I
has
don't
been a
know.
great
I
day. It's
don't
been fun.
Yeah, this is good. I'm glad Mike
Yeah,
came
thanks
out
for
for
coming,
this.
guys.
I
Really
love this
appreciate
stuff.
it.
You guys have such an incredible future. So, yeah, subscribe to the PricePlow podcast and check out blog.priceplow.com/podcast to see other episodes. And that is it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Oh, my ears are sweating. I'm so
Welcome to PricePlow.